Sequencing emotion in delicate formation. Numerology's wisdom is a language of vibration. Welcome to the Numerology Hour. Host Kelly Brickle is a numerologist, psychic medium, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether it's working with spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, precision and heart always enters the equation. Now, your host of the Numerology Hour, Kelly Brickle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Numerology Hour on WLTKDB. Let's Talk Radio. Hello. So for everybody coming on in, thank you for being here. We had a little bit of a late start, but the wonderful people behind the scenes, Diet, came and saved the day. Being awesome like she is, helped us launch. So hello and welcome. And Deidre was just diligent and helping out too. So luckily we have friends behind the scenes to help make us flow and go. So I want to say thank you to them. All right. Okay. So the episode today, hi Kaza. Hello. Welcome. Hello. The episode today that we are focusing on is the personality number in numerology. So for everybody just kind of coming in and starting, I specialize in Western Pythagorean numerology, and that is a system and a language that helps to decode energy. And so all numbers are symbols of energy. And there's certain calculations that have happened that go back within history that have been found to help translate and define certain types of energy. And in Western Pythagorean numerology, there are main calculations that help us do that. And so the personal day number is one of them. It is a very influential number. It's a very influential number, but it's a very subtle number too as well. And it's so subtle that sometimes, in my experience, I believe it's overlooked or it's mishandled. And I'm always learning to make sure that I handle it correctly myself. Because the personal day number, it's a reflection of self through the world's eyes and also how other people see us. And so in some senses of the idea, it has nothing to do with ourself. So it's a very important calculation for defining oneself that actually doesn't come from one's energy largely. Now, the more empathetic or the more one is an empath, if I can say, the more one absorbs how they understand that other people see and treat them, and they can lean into their personal day number with understanding that people kind of respond to them like that, or they lean into it in a certain way and they do take on a part of their personality to become this way. And then there's other people, and you could be really, really like, you could be a very perceptive psychic medium, healer, empath, and you could just be like, wow, I don't know why I get these results because this has really nothing to do with my intentions or my personality. And this just happens with people. So we all have gifts, we all have knowings about ourselves, but they're always evolving because we can't possibly know every area about ourselves. We can't. We have, shining lights and shadows in certain departments just with how our energy functions. And as well, we go, I'm still learning this about myself. So just, pat yourself on the back if, let's say, you understand this about how people treat you, or go, oh, that's really fascinating. And the one, I think, amazing thing about the personal day number, because it's so quick but so impactful, you can actually make really wonderful first impressions, or you can help shape with how events go. If, let's say, it's a short term opportunity. It's let's say you need to know and make tough or good decisions for yourself in the moment. The personal day number is that little burst that can give you that superpower of people really, really connecting to you or having confidence in you, etc., and beyond. Okay, so kind of let's define it. The personal day number is our outer shell, and it's how we come across to anyone on first impression. So, with that in mind, it's not your parents, it's not your friends, it's not anyone in your family, it's not anyone you work with or see on a regular basis. Okay. This personal day number influence affects others on just initial impression, or if you don't see them often and you haven't built up another form of energy recognition. Okay, so like if you bump into someone at the grocery store a lot or the first time ever at all, okay, your energy has a certain effect because they're just like, oh, who is this, right? They don't know your name, they don't know anything about you accept how you feel and that subconscious impression until you open up your voice. You open up the conversation and start exchanging information. So when there's no information exchanged, there's just perception and there's the exchange on the energetic level and what your current identity is. The soul is endless, I believe, potentially. The soul is limited potentially. I do believe in that potential. I don't know in the absolute. And we have many forms and different identities throughout our lifetime, throughout who we are as a soul. And so that means many lives, at least in the way that I look at things. And even it's many lives in the way that we just live this lifetime. There's some people who have changed their name throughout their lifetime. There's some people who have literally had completely different careers, completely different transformations within their life, where if you knew them 20 years ago, they wouldn't even look the same, acted the same, had the same beliefs. So we evolve and our identity evolves. And you can think that on a spiritual and existential kind of philosophy kind of place. You can think about it like that and go, whoa, wait a second. Or you can just think about it with the existential understanding of who we are throughout this lifetime, of what is our identity and what energy do we give off. Okay. The personal day number reflects our current identity and what we give off. And so, since it's made up of the birthday numbers when we were born, it doesn't really change. It's consistent. Now, other calculations in numerology regarding our identity changes, and I do like to talk about that a lot. But with our birthday and how we are perceived, it's very consistent. We are given a birth date of, hey, this is where you came into the world. All right. So the personal day is our most outer shell, first impression, how other people see us, and how we find our personal day number is we just simply take the day we were born on. So if you're born on the 25th, if you're born on the 1st, I'm just throwing out some numbers. If you're born on the 6th, you're just looking at that. If you're born on the 1st, your personal day 1. If you're born on the 6th, your personal day 6. No additionals required. If you're born on the 25th, for instance, you are a 7. And that's because you have the number 25. And in numerology, we add straight across and get a single digit. So 2 plus 5 equals 7. Okay. And then that would mean your personal day 7. So it's as simple as that. This is really the easiest calculation to find in numerology. And if you know about how to use it and appreciate its subtlety and power, it can be really, really beneficial with something so easy to understand about yourself and another. Okay. So let's dive into it. And if we have any questions along the way, awesome. I always love taking numerology questions. All right. So the personal day number 1. So if someone has a personal day number 1, that means on first impression, they come off as a leader, And you will find that there's actually crossovers between the personality number and the personal day number. And so we've had a personality number show. And so I want to make the distinction. So the personality number is who we are consistently with our energy within the world. And we will echo this and be this with our friends and family, with those dearest to us, with people, let's say, we know on a regular basis, but aren't so intimate with. We just radiate this energy. This is who we are on a fundamental level in the world. The personal day number is the impression and what we kind of spark at times within people. So it's very subtle. Okay. But think about it, the majority of people that you meet, you don't think about everyone you've ever met. Majority of people that you've met, you haven't probably had the opportunity to have that deep of a relationship with them, or you'll never meet them again. And so that's why the personal day number is powerful, even though it's not that influential. Someone actually really knows you. Okay. It's fun like that. Hello, Jennifer. Hello. Okay. So, personal day one, like I said, it's the leadership energy. You stand out of the crowd. If you are doing an interview or a booking and you have to make a solid impression, these are one of the ones that help you stand out. Certain numbers help you stand out. So, it increases your likelihood of impact on first impression. And so, one makes you kind of a little shinier because you're supposed to be seen amongst the rest. The one stands out. The one parts the crowd. The one is here to lead, and that's the impression that it gives off. Even though, let's say, you're not that way, but others will more likely hand you responsibilities or actually listen to you or lean into where your instincts are because they go, okay, I feel one energy. So this is a person who doesn't follow the crowd. So they're going to have unique, original ideas. And so since they're unique, I actually want to take them seriously because I know they're not just going to give me mumbo jumbo. And one goes against the grain too. They're just going to show up and their energy is going to radiate, not something that just defaults to what others think, agree, necessarily. So people perk up when one energy is around them. They go, ooh, what do they have to say? Okay, so it's very good for making an impression. It's very good if you want to make sure you're noticed. It helps you. And some people don't know. This is what I'm talking about. Some people don't know because they don't have ones anywhere else in their chart, or maybe they're subconscious, or maybe they have, self-esteem issues that they're learning to work with. And they don't know maybe that they're born on a personal day one. Well, you could be the most insecure person, but if you have ones in your chart and you lean into them and just go, you know what, I'm just going to believe it, and just, you'll be lucky because people will believe what you're putting out because that's your energy actually, and you can't fake that. You can't fake that. That's your energy charge when you walk into the room. And people are like, "Well, I am faking it because I don't believe it." And it's just like, even if you felt really awkward and even if you felt really mixed up, your interactions with people would probably lean into them kind of deferring some type of acknowledgement to you of leadership, and some type of, paying attention to you on a level where you yourself might not believe it and you yourself might turn away from it. So it's just about leaning into what normally happens for you, or leaning into what you know you carry so you can strengthen and really increase your luck. And that's why these numbers are so powerful. Okay. So if you're a personal day one, lean into people listening and noticing you. If you want, if you have a strong opinion, or if you want something to be done a certain way, chances are people will listen to you. Okay. That's very important because not everyone has that gift at their disposal. Okay. So we'll bounce around. And your other numbers will amplify how your personal day number works. It's very, very true. But we just keep this in mind too, of just knowing we have it in our chart, not depending on what the other numbers are. Okay. So now we're going to personal day number two. Okay. Oh, Jennifer's asking how you determine. So earlier in the show, we talked about how we find our personal day number with just the day we were born on. So if you're born on the 6th, you're born on the 8th, uh, then you're a vibration 6, so you're vibration 8. If you're born on the 18th, that is a 9 vibration because 1 plus 8 is 9. So you have to add a cross and reduce to one single digit. And this is only the day you were born on, so no other numbers. This is a very simple calculation, but very helpful. Okay, so number two, if you are a number two, exactly, 1 plus 9 equals 1, adding across. So what I just talked about with your personal day, it actually is very fitting of you. Okay, with how you have to lean into how people perceive you and allow you to express yourself, because that space, with you being a personal day number one, is opened up way more easier for you and other ones than the other numbers. When people feel one, they want to listen to you, they want to um, understand what you have to say. They will give more importance to your words. And we talked about why earlier, but it's very true. So lean into that. All right. So yeah, it's true. Awesome. Personal day two, we're bouncing back. That gives off an impression of softness, femininity. It's actually very good. I've talked about this with the personality number because like I said, there's a lot of crossovers. It gives a really good first impression for dating. Two is the number of love, it's the number of empathy, it's the number of cooperation and companionship, even. So when you have a two, other people feel very kind of calm in your presence, or they feel like, instead of, like, let's say the one, oh, you gotta all ears for the one, pay attention to the one. The two is going to give you all ears and pay attention to you, and either nurture you or give you that appreciation on the other end. Okay, so people feel comfortable in two's presence. In the job sphere, sometimes people will take the twos for granted or walk over them because they're like, "Oh, you're here to work with me sometimes." So the twos have to kind of really know themselves and affirm their other qualities and say, "I'm a multidimensional person. I'm very intuitive, or I'm very perceptive. I'm very helpful. I'm very nurturing with my team." So it's like you have to play up the sensitivities, but also execute in other areas and showcase who you are, sometimes to be taken seriously, because people do not feel like two is that leadership energy. I'm talking about in the job sphere, because the two is about one and the other. Now, like in the love department, two is a champion and two is more welcome. As long as you have some type of confidence and you don't need much, people really are open and receptive, because they feel like, okay, this person is here to be with me. As long as the two is giving the person attention and it's genuine, another person really opens up. And I love it because, yeah, like women or even men, they seal the deals in relationship way quicker than the other numbers. So again, we all have our power. We all have where we can really lean into things. And hi, Jenny. Hello. So that too, remember, it's a watery vibration. It's gentle. It's, appreciative of others or perceptive of others. It works with others at its height. The one stands out at its height. Okay. So personal date three. So personal date three, this is the most extroverted number in numerology, to me personally, at least. I really feel Threes are all about like social connection and communication, and the more the better. So, you can't get ideas from A to B with just two people. With two energy, you want that intimacy, you want that attention, you want that appreciation and the devotion. With three, if you have a great idea or something fun, you want as many people to know about it as possible. So groups, crowds, dynamics that are bigger than small groups are where three energy really thrives. Three energy will pull people in towards you because it's a fun number. It doesn't take itself seriously. It's there to entertain others. It's there to brighten and to give smiles to others. So people will feel your energy and either feel that you are silly and are open like that, or if you don't even say anything and literally there's no indication, there's a feeling of, okay, this person is is okay with me communicating with them. This person is okay with the energy of me asking them something. That's why I make this example a lot. But if you're in the grocery store and let's say like you're with family, okay? And let's say people are of similar age, right? But let's say you're with family and someone is a person on day 3. Well, they're most likely to get approached because they have the most light-hearted, simple energy and extroverted energy that pulls people to them. It's really important. So, like, I'm very extroverted on average. I like my alone time, so I can be introverted too as well. But I have a personal day number that doesn't um, increase the likelihood of people approaching me necessarily. Now, my husband, he's a personal day 3, and he's really good with people too. But he has a very quiet disposition, but when it's him and myself out and about, he always gets um, talked to first. Even if we're separated, like even if we're separated down different aisles, right? Or we're looking at different parts in the aisle, he will have the probability of someone asking him a question of, oh, where's this? Oh, where's that? Because he has that 3 number where people go, "Okay, he's gonna be okay with me asking him a question because, the 3, the extroversion, the communication energy is just all around him, so I know this is a subconsciously, this feels like a safe choice." And in, parties or group settings, people will gravitate to you because, right, you have that open and airy and that welcoming vibe. And you could be, like I said, very different with your overall personality, or very different when people like begin to know you and how you function in other categories. So it's very fascinating. Okay, personal day number. Hi, Kevin. Hello. Personal day number 4. So personal day number 4, they will give off a very serious vibration. So I talked about this earlier. Not every number gives off a welcoming vibration. Uh, all the numbers give off different things and help you in different categories. So it's not like want. My number doesn't do this. It's sometimes you can feel that way, but you can lean into how it helps you in different categories. So the 4 is serious, okay? The 4 comes off as the student teacher vibe, like learning, studying, being careful and picking up information. So since they're so careful and disciplined sometimes with the vibe they give off, a person just goes, "Oh, yeah, that person's kind of thinking, that person's off to themselves," or um they can give off kind of a judgmental vibe too at times if it's really intense. Certain people Certain people's personal day number, like I said, will intensify depending on the other numbers that they have as well in their chart. So certain people, you'll really feel the personal number on first impression, okay? And others will be more muted. So it's really interesting. But that 4 number, it's great because in the line of your job and career, it gives you the vibration that you're very reliable, that you're sturdy, that you're going to be on top of it, that you do have the skills to make sure things get done consistently. It's a very good number for being a workhorse. It's a very good number for churning out what the business needs to churn out. So fours, and I've met a lot of fours, personal day fours, and they might be actually like the biggest party animals because, like I said, this is not who you are entirely. They might have some really interesting, personality quirks, and they might live, like I said, a very interesting life that does not personify stableness or consistency. But I asked them, and I'm telling you, it's routine, it's the law of the numbers. I go, "You interview very well, don't you?" And they're like, "Yeah, like if I'm feeling the job, I'll get the job." Right? I interview fantastically. And it's because you walk in and you have that energy and people go, "Okay, yeah, that's what we need." But really they're party animals, maybe. Or maybe they're exactly how they look on paper. Again, you never know until you get to the other numbers. But that's a superpower with the 4. You will come across as reliable and that will open doors for you. It really will. It also might help you secure a relationship if people perceive you to be as calm. And like I said, you could be a wild child, but someone would be more likely to take a chance on you because they feel like um, they don't necessarily see that, or they feel like you're going to give the relationship consistency. Again, this is just impressions. All right. Okay, so now we're in personal day 5. Personal day 5. This gives off a vibration of it's always fun because 4s and 5s are like the opposite. It's always fun. So 5s will give the impression of I can't really kind of figure this person out. Like there's so many different sides to the person. Is this person reliable? It's like you can't it's intriguing that you kind of can't figure out this person. This person immediately does not feel one note. This person immediately has other qualities that you're aware of that are even contradictive. Okay. So it attracts a lot of different people to you because, like, your energy is of variety. Your energy is of quickness, chaos, even unpredictableness. And so, because of that, energies like that attract themselves to you. Sometimes situations, you will be mixed up in drama more. Interestingly enough, that 5 energy brews kind of shenanigans and mischievousness. So you will find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time sometimes, or sometimes the right place at the right time. But unpredictableness is swirls around you and it finds itself. And also people who are unpredictable of different backgrounds and situations find you too. So having this 5 energy so outward, it attracts immediately. You're going to have a bunch of different people throughout, if you can recall within your lifetime, of wow, I've dated some really different personalities. I have friends currently with a lot of different personalities. Would they even all get along? Maybe, but they're so fantastically different. So it invites this zest of life to you. And because of that, you can have a lot of fun, a little bit of trouble, but also sometimes people aren't going to take you as seriously because they feel the unpredictableness. Okay. So interesting, interesting. Personal date number 6. Personal day number 6, it invites the energy of warmth. It is a people number. Okay. It's a very strong nurturing and helper number. 6 is the number of service and nurturing and being the mother or sometimes even the father. It's the family number. So when people are in your presence, they feel more safe and they feel like you're more trustworthy than average. And you will invite people to you based on how you are feeling. Um, if you are radiating like, oh, it's a good day, more people will kind of just talk to you and open up, and they'll share kind of what's on their minds, like from an emotional standpoint. They'll kind of share their secrets to you because they go, oh, like that warmth and maternal nurturing. This is a safe place to unload. This is a safe place to just kind of say whatever I want to say because they feel the warmth of you being so open with people. Okay, so sixes, threes, sixes, and nines have a very magnetic quality to them that helps draw people in. And so the six is kind of the most practical of the three. Of the three, sixes, and nines, the six is the most practical of the three. And so it does bode very well with business and relations at the same time because six has very consistent, steady energy like the four, and the person feels or the people, let's say you could even be interviewing or dating, etc., they go, oh, this is a sturdy, consistent energy. I feel safe. I feel confident in this person's presence if they are giving me attention. Okay. So it will help make other people feel things around you. Um, know this about your personal number. So personal number 7, personal day number 7. This is 7 is the most introverted number in numerology, in my opinion, because it's all about introspection. And if you have a lot of sevens, it will increase the likelihood of that you are a quiet person and even somewhat mysterious to other people around you. You would rather listen to people than share, what you have going on with you. And you could, again, not be this way, but the 7 will intensify the way people treat you with going, oh, 7 energy. You don't want to be bothered. Like you're busy thinking, you're busy studying, you're busy observing. The 7 needs quiet. The 7 needs distance. The 7 needs time, alone time to really study, master, to allow its brain to be free and flexible. 7 is the number of genius, it's the number of the higher mind. So when people are in your presence, they're aware of that mental energy swirling around you, and they will kind of give you space, and they won't be so apt to bother you. I say that word with the 7. It's very funny because the 7 just wishes not to be bothered. If it's built, if it's strongly in someone's chart, a lot of times someone will be craving alone time and not to be bothered. They could only wish that upon themselves. But if you have it in a placement like the personal day, even if you do not crave it, people go, oh, that's within you. That's all over you. Let me not bother you. Do you see how it goes? You see how interesting that is? So you could have someone who longs to be very social and longs to be included. And with them having that personal day number of 7, they will find themselves in a lot of social interactions within life where they have to make the first move in order to increase their social um, standing, or to make the friend, to ask somebody out. They have to make sure they assert themselves a little bit more at a job interview, um, because people just the the energy of communication goes inward for self-reflection, not outward for interaction with the 7. And so that is an area of, let's say, frustration that some people have within their 7 energy. And they feel like, why am I not getting the attention? But in other categories, it's wonderful because sometimes they're recognized as being smarter than they actually maybe want to be. You come in with the air, like I said, of being a higher mind, of being more thoughtful, of, oh, they're talking, it must be something important. So understand this about yourself, and all we have to do is assert ourselves in different ways. If we don't want to seem a certain way to a person or have certain interactions, we just assert ourselves different ways or lean into things or accept certain things and just go, oh, this comes up often. So again, I just make sure to counter or balance with providing a certain choice for myself at certain times when I know I'm going to be in certain environments. Okay. All right. Let's jump to personal day number 8. So, personal day number 8. 8 is a sturdy number 2 as long as it is activated. Okay. A lot of people are always learning how to activate their 8 energy. 8 energy is really, it's the number of truth. I talk about this. It's the number of power and truth. And my goodness, what a world we would live in if we all knew and activated our power and lived in our truth. It would be ginormously fantastic. So the 8 gives great promise, but it requires great responsibility. So a lot of people with 8s in their chart are still learning how to activate their 8 energy. So, but once it is activated, it's very sturdy, it's very consistent. Um, Again, as long as you're locked in, all right? It's a conundrum to talk about an 8 sometimes. It really is. But okay, since you have this within you swirling around, like I said, you might not even have done the 8 work. Might not even have the 7 personality. We've talked about this today. You might not be these things intrinsically, but it swirls around you with the personal day number. So you walk in the room with a personal day 8 and people notice you. You feel sturdy in your being. You feel like you're solid. You feel like you're a little bit more accomplished than the average bear. Some people might even attribute that to snootiness. It's really interesting, depending on people's perceptions. They can think of you as, let's say, if you're a man or a woman, you have boss energy. Okay. You have boss energy when you walk in the room, someone goes, "Hmm, they have arrived." And sometimes when we have more 8 energy or we lean into their 8, we dress a little bit more unique or nicer too, to personify I have arrived, or I know myself, to know thyself being your power. This is who I am. I'm comfortable in my own skin. That will amplify people's impression of you on steroids if you have 8s. Absolutely. You could even just wear like an interesting piece of jewelry and not do anything else much than that. And that's going to amplify people's impression of you if you have an 8. They'll think, wow, she's unique, or wow, he's eccentric, right? They have presence. So the 8 invites people to see you in a certain light, and they will, again, with the 4 kind of gives out judgment, the 8 receives the judgment. How worthy is this person? Or does this person think so highly of themselves, or does this person actually have weight with how they walk? Who is this person? So you are noticed with your physical presence. Okay. 8 is a very physical number, it's the number of physical manifestation. Because you have presence, it's a little bit like the 1. People will listen, people will pay attention. 1 has just a very neutral, favorable kind of impression. 8, you can have any, 8 is a mutable number. So you can get a very negative or a highly positive impression from the 8. But the more you are calm and collected and centered within your power as an 8, if you know this about yourself, the more you can lean into having very favorable impressions. And you might find yourself in places and in situations that are exclusive, that not everybody gets to partake in. So it's one of those funny numbers where a lot of interesting situations can happen. It's not chaotic. It's just someone might close a door on you, or someone might open a door on you, and it's the likelihood of far more doors will open. You just have to believe in yourself and lean into that. A lot of people don't know they have 8 personal day energy because it is such a mutable vibration that they don't really see always the consistency of their own power unless they've enacted it. So it's very, very interesting. And 8 is a very stubborn vibration. So people go, "Oh, I don't have this about myself." And then you kind of have to lay it out for them. And it's really interesting. So 8s are always fun to read. Okay, personal day 9. A personal day 9, again, it's a people vibration. It's one of the 3 6s and 9s. So the 9 will pull people to you. You will be noticed. 9 is an old soul number. 9 is a number of spirituality because it embodies all the other vibrations. And the 9 vibration, because it's the old soul number, people will actually want to listen and be around you because they think, oh, you have wisdom. Oh, there's something esoteric that I need to pay attention to. There's an otherworldly quality to a 9 that invites a person in. Okay, so the ones and the 9s really will in the most positive way invite a person in. The 3 as well, excuse me, the 3 as well. But for different reasons we talked about, the 1 and the 9 really makes people kind of stop in their tracks and go, okay, what are we dealing with here? That person caught my attention. And then for the 9, if you lean into it, people actually it sounds very strange, but people will revere you, kind of a little bit like the 8. Um, People will revere you. They want to pay attention. They go, oh, there's something interesting. They're more likely to give you opportunities. They're more likely to like appreciate what you have to say, even if it's not something that philosophical or wisdom based or important. They just feel like I should pay attention to this person. Okay, so with the 9, it does help you get into the door of places. It does help people open up to you because they think they should listen to you. It's funny like that. People will um just expect higher things of you. Like they'll have a certain imagination about, okay, I feel this from this person, so this person might be like this. Because 9 has all the possibilities. 9 is highly capable. 9 is very talented. 9 has genius in it, just like the 7. Sometimes it's that want. The 9 can let people down because they just assume they can do it. So that is reflected in the personal day number and in the personality number 2 as well, because those are how other people perceive you. It's very fascinating like that. Hello, Desiree. Hello. Desiree is asking the question, how do you find your day number? It's just simply the day you were born on. So if you're born on the 25th, 2 plus 5 equals 7. If you're born on the 8th, you're a personal day 8. Okay. If you're a 27, your personal day 9. 2 plus 7 is 9. It's the most simple calculation in numerology. And a lot of people don't know its power. And so it's great. We've covered so much on the show today. Um, it's super, super helpful if you know how to lean into this. So yeah, Desiree with a 9, people will give you responsibilities. People will expect certain things of you. And you sometimes go, how do I live up to people's expectations, right? But it does help you open doors to some unique experiences. And yeah, watch the playback. We talk a lot about each number. Okay. So, with that said, everybody, today, I'm going to do one quick reading before I leave. So, if anyone wants to pop down their numbers, we will do that. And that's how we will close off the show for today. Right. So we have a bunch of people in here. So pop down your numbers. Okay, who's ever first? Um, oh, thank you, Jenny. With the personal day too. I'm glad that you respond to that. It's really fascinating. It really is. So Desiree, you popped on your numbers first. Thank you so much. All right. So you are a personal day 9, an attitude 2, and you are a life path 2 as well. Let me just double check on that. Yep, that is correct. So, all right. You have a lot of 2 energy and very influential 2 energy. So, the 2 is all about one and another. So a lot of times within your life, like you're looking to help, you're trying to go above and beyond with others, and you're very, very sensitive. So you can really be there and really show up for others in a very unique way, where as long as you have a good person within your life, they'll go like, oh my gosh, like, thank you so much. Like, I don't know how you're able to do it. I'm so appreciative of you. You knew exactly what I needed. That too is so tuned into others. Okay. So again, make sure you have good people in your life that truly appreciate you, because you're able to perceive things that other people would overlook. And you don't really have to open your intuition for that. It's just naturally ready to go. And if you do open up your intuition, then whoa, just on steroids. And that's a gift. Two people will always be tuned into other people. Environments, just on the get go, their nervous system is so sensitive. I talk about this a lot. Their body and their nervous system is so incredibly sensitive, and so aware of what's going on with others, that there needs to be hyper focus on self. And you will always be able to do way more above and beyond for others if there is a focus on self. So health is super important. Health is super important with the two. Two, like, think about the two sides, and it's a seesaw, and it's always struggling for balance. So twos, especially life path two like yourself, will always feel the struggle for balance throughout your entire life. You'll have other gifts, which your two gives you, but the sense of balance will always seem off. That is something that you have to rectify. But the great thing is, when you're balanced, you're going to be way more balanced than your average person. But when you're not, it can really, really destroy. Okay. And that can really make things come up within your health. And when you have so many twos, you need extra sleep. Than other people. Not all bodies are the same. Not all requirements are not the same. You're going to need a different food plan than other people. Your body is going to be more sensitive. It is going to be your stomach's going to be more sensitive than the average person with this number. So diet is really, really important. Okay. She's saying, so validating, health is huge. Yes. So as long as you get health on track, oh my gosh, like, you can have sonic booms in the psychic and intuition world. And honestly, you can have like amazing hits, actually easier than the average person. This is very true. But you have to have your body in line. Okay. You have to have your body in line, and you have to have um a centering within the mind. And this is so, so important. So I'm going to say that to you, within that, and amplify that. Okay. And Diet dropped on her stuff too. So I'm going to say Diet helps me out today with starting the show. So Diet, I'm giving you a shout out. So I'm going to do your numbers really quick. Absolutely, Desiree. Okay, Dia, you're an attitude 3, personal day 2, and then your life path 3 as well. And so, okay, you're in a cycle of 1 right now. This year has all about been defining the self. It's been very, very focused on stepping into the new parts of you. And you started this journey last year, but there was just way too much going on to really give it proper focus. Like, you did, but you're like, I can't sustain it. I just know where I'm going for next year. And so this year, it's all about like, how can I build? How can I grow? But it's testing, what your identity is. Like, who are you? What do you really want? And it's like, you are getting opportunities, but it's making you think, even though you've always wanted these certain opportunities, what do you really want? Who do you really want to be? And it comes down to really going, where does it make me feel most alive? Where do I feel the most unbridled with my energy? Like, I could go on for days and I don't feel unburdened, and I just feel like I am my biggest self, and most strongest self with greatest ease. And you need to lean into that, because health is being affected, family is being affected, with all these other areas that are really important and really fantastical, but they're not quite giving you that ease and that simplicity that you're looking for with being at the top, where you go, I've made it, I've done it. Like, shouldn't this be easy? Like, it is easy, but there needs to be a reconfiguration of really where you are in your power with your new identity and what makes sense, because it should come with ease and it should actually help with health and family. Okay, so put everything together and lean into that. I'm gonna say it with love, and I just know that this year has been amazing for you, and I feel like you already got it, but just to really understand, it should feel right in your body, it should feel right with your health, it should feel right with more things are easier. And I know that sounds weird because you're taking on more, but more things should feel easier. Lean into the ease. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being with me today. I will see you in just a moment with the Psychic Hour. I'm going to have Deidre Sanford on. We're going to be tag teaming with readings, having a lot of fun there. I will see you in just a bit. With that said, go with love, light, luck, laughter, and don't forget to live. Take care. Bye.
The truth is here and now on WLTKDB Talk Radio at WLTKDB.com.